7.
Arizona News Radio. A rally and vigil will be held in an effort to shut down Tent City Jail tonight. Thousands of Unitarian Universalist supporters and community members will take part in that. Sheriff Joe Arpaio is keeping out all visitors to the jails during the protest.
When the word gets out that they're going to we're going to have a lot of demonstrators. Some of these inmates, they want to demonstrate themselves within the jails.
A suspect has been arrested in the stabbing death of a woman at a Scottsdale apartment complex. Scottsdale police spokesman Dave Pubin says 25-year-old Joseph Michael Matthews was arrested in the killing of 23-year-old Crystal McMartin.
The female is an escort, and she was called to the suspect's apartment by the suspect.
A man sleeping at a cabin under construction near Payson has been bitten by a bear. 29-year-old construction worker Jason Ampersey talked about that attack.
And I woke up to something just squeezing me, and it felt like something was on top of me.
Mike Sauceda, Arizona News Radio.
Hi, I'm Wayne Tormiller from the Arizona Department of Health Services. My mission is to educate Arizonans, especially men, on how to stay healthy. Recently, during a regular checkup, I found out I have prostate cancer. I can't stress enough how important it is to get routine screenings. Visit the new website, prostatepledge.com, for more information about prostate cancer and to make your pledge to get screened, and follow me through treatment and beyond on my blog. Make your pledge to get screened, and you and 10 friends might score a suite at a big league baseball game. Make the pledge, know your score, score a suite. prostatepledge.com.
Searching for a fantastic getaway? Let Laughlin, Nevada scratch that itch with a great vacation experience. We're sweetening the deal with our sweepstakes and offering you the chance to win a trip on us. That's 2 nights accommodation, plus a gift card toward dinner, drinks, or anything you want on us. The first-class service in Laughlin will leave you feeling like you own the place. Just enter your name at visitlaughlin.com/winner. Must be a legal resident of Arizona, California, or Nevada, age 21 or older. Void where prohibited. Offer ends June 30th, 2012. For official rules, go to visitlaughlin.com/winner today.
Hi, everybody. Jim Howell from the KFNX Weather Center. Good look at our summer monsoon season now with buildups around the valley and some dust storms with reduced visibilities in the southern deserts. Looks like we might even have some outlying valley rain. Our daytime highs the next couple of afternoons down to 104. Jim Howell, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 103 degrees.
Valley small business owners, do you want to know why some small businesses are able to generate as many new customers as they want, regardless of the economy? 85% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years, but yours doesn't have to be one of them. I'm Scott Martineau, co-founder of Infusionsoft, and I'd like to introduce you to Lifecycle Marketing. Please join me at one of 4 special seminars being held across the valley June 26th, 27th, and 28th. I've used lifecycle marketing to help thousands of companies grow and thrive. In fact, it's how I grew my business from 3 employees and a spare bedroom into a $30 million company. At the seminar, we'll help you create your own lifecycle marketing plan so that you can attract and capture more leads, nurture and convert more prospects into customers, and create more repeat sales and referrals. I hope you'll join me.
Call 480-999-4305. This event is free, but seating is limited. All attendees will receive a lifecycle marketing planner, a $150 value free. Call 480-999-4305. That's 480-999-4305.
Hi folks, Mark Asher here for Legends Cadillac. It has been my absolute pleasure to be associated with Legends Cadillac for over 10 years now. I've watched Legends grow over these 10 years from a small Cadillac dealership located in North Scottsdale to the #1 retailer of new Cadillacs for the entire Western region. And folks, it's only going to get better with the new product line coming your way starting next month. Remember this name, the Cadillac XTS, an all-new, much-talked-about luxury sedan, bold, elegant, and beautiful. A driver's dream. And how about this? Maybe you thought you couldn't afford that luxury Cadillac. Well, the new sporty ATS is on the way. Style and comfort, and affordable for most every driver. Add these new models to the great lineup of the CTS Coupe and Sedan, the world-class SRX crossover, and of course the entire Cadillac Escalade family. There's a ride in there for everyone. So go see my friends over at Legends Cadillac. Legends, it truly is like no place else.
Join me, Catherine Raker of Let's Just Talk on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. with interesting guests and topics ranging from the latest in technology, fashion, authors, and politics on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Solutions by Dr. Fitness every Saturday at 7 a.m. with your host, former Mr. America and Mr. Universe, Dr. Lance Dreyer, Ph.D. Wake up to the solutions for proper nutrition, fitness, and weight loss with Dr. Fitness, Saturday at 7 a.m.
Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
This is Tech Talk with your host, Tom Dioria. Tom will spend the next hour making your life with technology a little easier with explanations of the different aspects of today's technology and how it can benefit your home, small office, or enterprise. Now here's your host, Tom Dioria.
Welcome to IMI's Tech Talk. On this, the fourth Sunday of June, it's June 24th, 2011. We're on at 6 p.m. in the New York listening area and 3 p.m. in Arizona. Today we're live from our New York offices, and we're going to be discussing WWDC Review. That's the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference, for those of you that don't know. And our guest is Tony Bradley, who we haven't had on the show for a long time, so we're looking forward to having him on. I'm Tom Dioria. I'm the CEO of Information Methods Incorporated, and together with our weekly guests, our show will help our listeners, whether a business or home technology user, make better aspects of all of technology. Just in case you're a first-time listener, in our first segment, Tech Talk provides you with a review of last week's most significant events in technology. We start with our increased coverage of New York's technology scene, and we follow this with an industry-wide report, which could contain information on conferences, announcements by vendors, new releases of software equipment, or new contract opportunities. One of our guests followed us from many aspects of business and industry, and if you wish us to consider a topic for a future show, you can email your suggestions to Tech Talk. That's TECHTALK at IMI-US.com. We'll get back to you pretty quickly. Anytime after our show introduction, please give us a call or send an email message with questions on today's topic or anything else that we might be able to help you with. You can call 277-KFNX. That's 277-5369. And if you're outside the 602 listening area, call us toll-free at 1-866-536-1100. You can send email questions to that email address I just gave you, techtalk at IMI-US.com. We'll try and get them on this week's show, and if we can't, we'll send you an email response and try and get them on next week. And we're also being simulcast on the web, so if you can't get to your radio and you want to listen to us live, you can go to KFNX's website, which is 1100KFNX.com. And if you want to listen to previous shows or today's show again, you can go to our website, which is IMI-US.com. Click on the Tech Talk button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on Archives, and then all the shows are there. You can download them, send them to your friends, listen to them as many times as you want. It's free. So please take advantage of that. And call us in anytime during the show, and we'll try and get you on as quickly as possible. First segment's our Week in Review. It's our increased coverage of technology events in New York City and around the world. It's compiled by Dave Brandon, Dan Dioria, and Jose Batista. And we've got a whole bunch of things to talk to you about here. And first thing we're going to talk to you about is free apps to check air quality and UV levels. The Environmental Protection Agency and the National Weather Service have developed apps for Apple and Android smartphones. The Air Now app, AIRNOW, provides pollutant and ozone levels by zip code for more than 400 cities. The UV Index app gives ultraviolet radiation levels by zip code. So that's pretty interesting. You can check that out. When devices are done, technology gets better, but recycling it can be complex. So the Wall Street Journal tells us if you're ready to clean out your old technology, what do you do with it? Last year, 460 million pounds of electronics were collected and recycled in the United States, a 53% increase from 2010. People know they should recycle their old or unwanted technology products, but they don't know where to begin. We did a little dirty work rounding up details from 8 major companies about their recycling programs, including fees, drop-off locations, acceptable products, shipping options, haul-away services, and personal data wiping solution. So here are some solutions for you. Best Buy's recycling program is made up of 4 categories: in-store kiosks for ink and toner cartridges, recyclable batteries, wires, cords, and cables, free removal and recycling of appliance or TV when a new appliance or TV is delivered, home pickup of 2 appliances or 2 TVs for $100 with a $20 charge for additional units. The BestBuy.com/trade-in for trading gently used electronics for Best Buy gift cards. The store's Geek Squad offers services like removing a PC's hard drive before handing it over to be recycled. Apple invites its customers to bring all batteries and iPods to its 247 U.S. stores for recycling, and any iPod except the iPod Shuffle can be turned in for a 10% discount on a new iPod. People can also opt to ship their old products off to be recycled free by filling out a form found at apple.com/recycling. Apple contracts with a company called Power On, and to do this, recycling acceptable products include desktop or notebook window PCs and Macs, iPads, iPhones, as well as any make or model of the iPhone. In the product that's worth something, you'll get an Apple gift card. Amazon doesn't charge people for recycling its Kindle e-readers or Kindle batteries, and this includes non-working and working units. People can print free UPS labels for shipping their old Kindles to recycled on ecotakeback.com. That's ecotakeback.com/Kindle. They then simply drop the Kindles off at a UPS store. Amazon wipes all identifying marks or personal documents from the Kindle. Further details can be found at amzn.to/JKILQX. If Kindles are in good condition, customers can opt to trade them in for Amazon gift cards via the company's electronic trade-in program. And HP, new partnership with Staples offers a physical location where people can drop off HP and non-HP consumer products for recycling. The Staples store will accept a variety of products, including laptops, monitors, mice, fax machines, and GPS devices, though not televisions. That's probably because they don't sell televisions. People who recycle printer cartridges can earn Staple Rewards points towards store merchandise. FedEx office stores also serve as drop-off locations for products that will be shipped off for recycling. HP and Compaq products can be shipped using a free pre-printed voucher found at hp.com/recycling, but shipping vouchers for other brands of consumer products will cost $10 to $25. And let's see, we've got Dell's recycling program includes free home pickup and FedEx shipping options, but these are only for Dell products. Samsung products can use free mailback shipping options via one of three links, Samsung.com/Startus, STARUS, for toner cartridges, mobile.samsungusa.com for mobile products. Sony accepts its brand of products for free recycling at about 850 drop-off centers. Some of them centers also offer free recycling for other manufacturers' products. Microsoft stores, of which there are 16 nationwide, offer free in-store recycling. And Xbox owners can ship and recycle their Microsoft hardware using prepaid shipping labels that you can get at bit.ly/KJ6XK. So hopefully that's helpful, and if you want some more information about that, just let us know and we'll send you that. Okay, we learned from Consumer Reports that $425,000 was the fine paid by HP to settle allegations denied by HP that it failed to immediately alert the Consumer Product Safety Commission that it knew of some problems with certain batteries used in Compaq and HP notebook computers, according to the CPSC. The company had collected at least 31 reports involving lithium-ion battery packs, which can overheat and in some instances cause flames, fire, and even injuries. The CPSC alleges that HP started receiving complaints in 2005, but waited until 2008 to notify the agency. Okay, I want to tell you that HP fax machines can overheat, risking fire and burns. Products 928,000 HP fax 1040s and 1050 models sold nationwide and online from November 24th through December 2011 are the products. So what you should do is either call 888-654-9296 or go to hp.com/go/fax recall/USEN. And again, if you didn't get all of that, just give us a shout and we'll send you the information. This is Tom DiOria. We're on IMI's Tech Talk on KFNX AM 1100. It's Sunday, June 24th, 2012. We're going to take a break and we're going to get to one of our favorite guests, Tony Bradley, talking to us about the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference. Please stay tuned. We're going to be right back after these messages.
Information Methods Incorporated is a leader in construction technology management. At IMI, we specialize in all areas of high-tech construction, including data centers, 311 and 911 operation centers, as well as the consolidation of public safety, operations, and administration into a single facility. Regardless of the project size or phase, IMI has the tools and experience to add value at every step of the project. From initiation to controlling and closing, we work with you to ensure your next high-tech facility is ready to provide customers with the right technology at the right place and time for now and years to come. Visit our website to see how IMI can turn your high-tech facility project from headache to success. www.imi-us.com. Information Methods Incorporated, the leader in construction technology management, www.imi-us.com.
This 4th of July, come out and celebrate at the Freedom Wireless Fabulous Phoenix 4th from 6 to 10 p.m. at Steele Indian School Park, located on 3rd Street in Indian School. Definitely a 4th of July celebration you won't want to miss. The night's entertainment will feature Easton Ash and Chucky, Baby, and the All-Stars. There will be free inflatable rides and tons of food and beverage vendors. Cool down by getting drenched at Hurricane Beach and the Phoenix Fire Spray Zone. The free Freedom Wireless Fabulous Phoenix 4th will have one of the largest fireworks displays in the Southwest.
Ahwatukee hosts this year's Red, White, and Boom Festival 4th of July fireworks celebration. Packed with live entertainment, Radio Disney performers, water playland, family fun zone, beer garden, and food court. Come have fun in the sun and enjoy the fireworks show. Tuesday, July 3rd at the Ahwatukee Country Club, presented by Vision Management and the Ahwatukee Foothills Chamber of Commerce. Gates open at 3 and is free to the public. Bring your lawn chairs and blankets and enjoy the festivities. For more information, please visit redwhiteandboom.com.
I returned from combat duty in a wheelchair, but it turns out many apartment buildings can't accommodate me. I fought for freedom and thought I'd be free to choose where I live.
After the phone interview, we assumed the apartment was ours.
But when we showed up, the manager said no longer available.
The only way to stop housing discrimination is to report it. Visit HUD.gov/fair housing or call 1-800-669-9777. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Have your voice heard. Tune into the Savage Nation. Weekdays from 5 to 7, only on KFNX.
Welcome back to IMI's Tech Talk on KFNX AM 1100. I'm Tom DiOria, and it's Sunday, June 24th, 2012. And as I mentioned before the break, we're going to have Tony Bradley discussing WWDC, that's Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. And Tony is a freelance tech writer and author of the Network blog and column for PCWorld. He focuses on technology from a business perspective and has established a reputation for being able to translate tech speak into plain English, which we all like. So this way the rest of us can understand what the heck's going on. Tony has been recognized as a Microsoft MVP for 6 consecutive years, and that's a pretty impressive honor that Microsoft awards to very few people. And he's certified as the CISSP-ISSAP, and we'll let Tony describe what that is. So, Tony, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you for having me.
So we told our listeners in the first segment that WWDC is the Apple Developers Conference, and I'm sure there was a lot of stuff that Apple either went over or introduced there. It seemed to us that there were a lot of keynotes. Can you tell us a little bit about that and some of the other stuff besides the iPhone keynote?
Sure. Well, it's funny because, Apple has 3 or 4 events a year that are, the big unveilings. It seems like, now they've got in the spring, there's, the next generation iPad unveiling, and in the fall now there's the next generation iPhone unveiling, and then you've got this WWDC, which is always in June. And a few years ago, that actually would have been the iPhone rollout as well, but that has since gotten pushed back to the fall. So it's just interesting. It's kind of the premier annual Apple Dog and Pony show to roll out all things new and exciting.
So did you? Was there anything special that the new CEO Tim Cook did? How do you think he did? I mean, what was your impression of this? Was obviously, I guess, the first one where he was the CEO.
Well, this is the first WWDC where he is, officially leading Apple. On a personal note, I liked his keynote unveiling the new iPad better because he quoted me in it. But I think he did fine. And what I've noticed is, Steve Jobs would bring other execs on, but a Steve Jobs keynote was really a Steve Jobs show. I mean, that was, it was his thing. He was the presenter. And I think Tim Cook does a great job. But I also respect that Tim Cook is not the showman that Steve Jobs was, and he seems to share the wealth and delegate more. So you see a lot more, I think, different Apple execs stepping up and doing, a larger portion of the presentation than you might have seen with Jobs.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes as he, gets more used to it as to whether or not he continues that, because, if that's his business style, then that's probably something that's good for Apple.
And not everyone is Steve Jobs. I mean, he aside from whatever tech visionary, skills he might have had, he was a showman. I mean, he was good at presenting and good at selling his vision.
Yep, definitely. So one of the things we saw come out of that, and you have to explain to our listeners what a retina display means, because it sounds like you're putting your eye up to the screen there. But can you tell us a little bit about that and what your impression is, and how that's really going to affect the marketplace?
And the retina display, I mean, in a nutshell, Apple, when they came out with the iPhone 4, was when they introduced the idea of a retina display. And the reason they called it the retina display is because it has a resolution that is higher than the human eye can perceive. So it's beyond crystal clear. You don't have any sort of pixelation, and even if you look very, very closely, you can't see the pixels. And that was, like I said, that was introduced with the iPhone 4. It was impressive enough there. With the new iPad, they introduced the Retina display at an iPad level, and I think the reception for that was more impressive than it was for the iPhone. I think when the bigger the screen gets, I think the more impressive it gets that it's so clear. And that sort of happened again now with the MacBook Pro. So they've got this Retina display on there. The resolution is 2880 by 1880. So that's 2,880 pixels by 1,880 pixels. And again, it's basically such high pixel density that you can't even make out the pixels. The reviews that I have not personally seen it yet, but the reviews I'm reading are people who say once they use it, it's like needing glasses and not knowing that you need glasses, and then putting the glasses on, and that's the difference in the clarity of the displays. And or after they used it for a while, and then they go back to their normal laptop, and everything seems to be fuzzy. So it kind of seems like one of those things that's a little bit dangerous, in that you're probably fine with your laptop or your monitor the way it is now, and maybe you don't want to go look at a MacBook Retina display, because once you do, you might not be happy with your display anymore.
Well, that's what I felt about looking at the new iPad compared to my current iPad. It was not, completely blew me away. And now I go to the other iPad, and when's it gonna get brighter? Do you think they're gonna take this technology and expand it to the rest of the product line? And you think they're going to get into the TV market?
I do think they will get into the TV market. I'm not sure from just the technology behind it and the concept of making a display at that higher resolution. I don't know what all goes into that, and whether it's physically possible for them to make, say, a 40 or 50 inch television at that display. It seems like they're moving up little by little. They went from the iPhone to the iPad to the MacBook, 15 inch. There is a rumor already that by fall there will also be a 13 inch Retina MacBook Pro. But I would love to see them, keep extending that to the monitors and things like that. Because, like we were saying, I have the new iPad, and I love the Retina display on there. And when I sit down at my desk and I'm using my computer, and I'm looking at my monitor, it's fine, but it's not quite the same. And I'd love it if they made a 23-inch Retina monitor that I could use too.
Besides what you just said about potential downside of everything else looking passé, even when probably if the Retina display is better than you normally see, you're going to be sick of just looking through your eyes at things. But are there any negatives in terms of, does it increase the size of the laptop, or does it make it hotter, or have you seen any or read any negatives about it?
Well, it will make it run slightly hotter, and it will eat battery power a little bit more, and those are some of the problems they had to address with the new iPad 2, which is why it's slightly thicker than the iPad 2, because they had to beef up the battery to compensate for the Retina display. But here again, they've taken the 15-inch MacBook Pro and they've actually made it thinner and lighter, and still managed to put the Retina display in there, still getting 7 hours of battery life. I'd say one of the downsides is that software has to be written for Retina. When the new iPad came out, there was a barrage of app updates that came out after that, because all of the Apple apps, like Pages and Numbers and Keynote and whatever, and apps like Kindle, they all had to rewrite them to take advantage of that higher resolution. So I would say one downside to Retina is it's going to look great with the apps and the software that are written for Retina, but your other stuff is still going to look less by comparison.
That's interesting. We're going to take a break. We're going to ask you a little bit more about this and then move on to some other things at WWDC. But we're talking to Tony Bradley on IMI's Tech Talk on KFNX AM 1100. I'm Tom Dioria. It's Sunday, June 24th, 2012. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after these messages. Please stay tuned.
Laura Ingraham Mornings, Neil Bortz, Mike Huckabee, Michael Savage Afternoons on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
NBC News Radio, I'm Melissa Rayberger. The new president-elect of Egypt, Mohamed Morsi, is an Islamist and the candidate of the Muslim Brotherhood. NBC's Ayman Mohideen in Cairo tells us Morsi has made good on one campaign pledge. He says he will quit the Brotherhood's political party.
One of the promises he made was that if he was elected, he was going to be a president for all Egyptians, and that he was going to be an independent president, not beholden to one single party.
Morsi will have to work with Egypt's military to try to regain presidential powers that the military took away before the runoff election that he won a week ago. NATO will get involved in the dispute between Syria and Turkey over Syria's downing of a Turkish military jet. The NATO treaty stipulates that an ally can request consultations whenever their security is threatened. Colorado fire crews have a new wildfire to deal with, and it is out of control west of Fort Collins. 5,000 residents near the new flames have been told to evacuate. This is NBC News Radio.
Arizona News Radio. A rally and vigil will be held tonight in an effort to shut down Tent City Jail. Thousands of Unitarian Universalist supporters and community members will take part. Peter Morales of the Unitarian Universalists talked about his group's role in the rally.
We're there to bear witness against the inhuman policies and the clear violation of fundamental civil rights.
A second motorcycle accident on Tucson's north side has occurred in a 16-hour period. The first crash was a fatality. In the second one, the rider is fighting for his life. Northwest Fire spokesman Adam Goldberg talks about the latest accident.
There was about 100 feet worth of skid marks from the tires as he lost control and then ended up in the middle of the intersection. There was a second motorcycle that was involved, but I don't know all the details, if they clipped each other or how it specifically happened, and that's what the police are still investigating.
A man hiking Camelback Mountain in Phoenix today fainted and injured his leg. He was about three-quarters of the way up, had to be rescued. Mike Salceda, Arizona News Radio.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where agents' intellects are focused like laser beams, and this is a pop quiz. True or false? There is no reward for turning 50. The big 50. False. By sitting down with a Farmers agent, you can get access to the Farmers 50-plus discount and many others that could save you hundreds on your home insurance. But other than that, it's mostly just slippers and bingo.
We are insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
To speak with a farmer's agent in your community, call 888-96-FARMERS.
Hey there. Yeah, you. Listen up. You gonna start a digging project? I don't care if you're a pro or just a guy planting a tree in the yard. You need to call 811 before you dig to get the utility lines marked for free. Utility lines could be buried in yards, under streets, alleys, even beneath vacant land. You hit one of those, and believe me, you won't be happy. Keep the neighborhood safe and keep yourself free of fines and repair costs. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig.
Your safety is our priority at Southwest Gas.
Hi, everybody. Jim Howell from the KFNX Weather Center. Good look at our summer monsoon season now with buildups around the valley and some dust storms with reduced visibilities in the southern deserts. Looks like we might even have some outlying valley rain. Our daytime highs the next couple of afternoons down to 104. Jim Howell, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Currently in downtown Phoenix, it's 103 degrees.
Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Success is a relative term. In baseball, 300 or 30% is a star hitter. In basketball, hitting 50% of your shots is better than Mike's career average. In business, the best manufacturers in the world strive to get it right 99.9997% of the time. And that is good, but not good enough for the public safety facilities and systems that support your fire, police, and EMD personnel and your citizens. Why? Because we understand your public safety services demand 100% of the time. From public safety centers to school systems, let Information Methods Incorporated help you realize both current and long-term technology goals in your facilities, systems, and IT service delivery. Visit our website at www.imi-us.com, www.imi-us.com to find out why 100% is the only option in public safety.
For the past few years, you've heard about Zero Res and their amazing carpet cleaning process on KFNX. This is Francis Battaglia, owner of KFNX Radio, and I've been a raving fan of Zero Res and their soap-free technology for years. The carpets in our studios have never looked better in the past 10 years. I spoke with the folks at Zero Res, and they want to offer you a great price from KFNX. 3 rooms of carpet, pre-treated, cleaned, and sanitized for only $119. Call 480-507-2419, 480-507-2419, or go online to ZeroResPhoenix.com. 3 rooms of carpet, pre-treated, cleaned, and sanitized for only $119. Call 480-507-2419, 480-507-2419. Be sure to mention KFNX. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Do you know where your food comes from? Love Grows Farms offers locally grown, delicious, always fresh organic produce at a great price. Love Grows Farms is a local co-op grower offering memberships to a limited number of families in the Phoenix area and a farmer's market Tuesday through Saturday in Mesa. Visit lovegrowsfarms.com for more info and get discounts on produce. Do you know where your veggies come from? They could be coming from lovegrowsfarms.com today. Act fast. Co-op memberships for their delicious, locally grown, organic veggies are limited. Visit lovegrowsfarms.com.
Get your huck on every day from 1 to 3 with the Mike Huckabee Show here on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Welcome back to IMI's Tech Talk on KFNX AM 1100. I'm Tom Dioria. It's Sunday, June 24th, 2012. And we're talking to Tony Bradley about the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference, or WWDC. And we were talking about the Retina display before the break. And, Tony, you mentioned that applications had to be rewritten to take advantage of it. And is that just for, stuff with a lot of, like, games or a lot of video in it? Or does that apply to everything? Like, does Word have to be rewritten and things like that? Or they just come to you on a lesser... they don't take full advantage. It just looks like the old one.
Well, exactly. I was going to say that they should be rewritten. I mean, something like a word processor, I think, is one of the more important things to take advantage of the Retina display, because you can get really crisp text instead of like the jagged edges and stuff. But it's just that the software that is written to take advantage of the Retina display is going to look better. It doesn't necessarily mean that your existing word processor and your existing software are going to look bad. They're just going to look basically like you already, like they already look.
And does it increase
basically running your old software on a Retina display isn't going to magically make them all better.
Okay. So it has to be written specifically for that device to take advantage of the extra pixels that you're not going to see. That's it.
Right.
That's interesting. So, but with the iPad, I gather people have been adopting that because they want to take advantage of it. Do you foresee that happening here as well?
Yeah. I think that all of the mainstream, all the big players are probably hard at work, or even possibly close to releasing their updates. I know I already just got updated versions of iPhoto and GarageBand pushed out yesterday that are updated to take advantage of the Retina display. I think you'll see it. And again, when the new iPad came out, I probably got 20 or 30 app updates over that next week of companies, vendors pushing out an update to take advantage of Retina.
Okay, but you got to be careful now, because if you've got multiple devices, and even if they're all Apple devices, if they don't have the Retina display technology, I would assume you can't run them on a lower screen. Like I can't run it here on my iMac.
Well, you couldn't run it on your iPad just because it's not the same type of software. But I'm not really sure that I don't think that's the case. I've never really played with it, but for instance, when Amazon updated the Kindle app to take advantage of Retina displays on the new iPad, it didn't make the Kindle app not work on the iPad 2 anymore. It works on. I believe that the program is able to detect the maximum resolution capable and adjusts to that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Does this increase the cost of the device significantly?
At first glance, I thought it did. Basically, the baseline MacBook Pro, a 15-inch MacBook Pro without Retina, I believe is like a $1,500 laptop, and the MacBook Pro with Retina is $2,200. So I looked at that and I thought, wow, $700 more. That's a lot for just for a better display.
Right.
But if you look at the breakdown, the 15-inch MacBook Pro with Retina actually it's got a better processor, it's got more RAM, it's got a larger SSD drive in it. And if you were to take that base $1,500 MacBook Pro and add in those upgrades, that one will actually cost more than the Retina one.
Really? That's interesting.
Right. So apples to apples, if you put in the same RAM, the same processor, the same hard drive, the MacBook Pro with Retina is actually cheaper.
Huh. Well, that's nice of them. Of course, you're going to have to want all that stuff, and I guess the other question is, do you need all of that stuff to run the Retina display?
I don't think you need all of that stuff for the Retina display. I think it's nice to have the new Intel Core i7 processor. I think that certainly helps, and it's got a decent graphics card in there. They've now bumped it up to a 512 gigabyte solid state drive and 8 gigabytes of RAM by default. So, both of those things are bigger than they used to be, but I don't think they're necessarily a function of Retina.
Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. iOS 6, I gather that Maps got a big upgrade. Can you tell us a little bit about that and anything else you'd like to highlight?
Well, the big update with Maps is that Apple parted ways with Google. So the Maps app, even though it's just called Maps, has always been powered by Google on the back end. There's a Google Maps utility. With iOS 6, Apple's doing their own thing. They've got their own mapping. They've got their own 3D maps. And perhaps the bigger news, actually, is that it will now do turn-by-turn navigation. So that's something that Google has built into the Google Maps app on Android, But with iPhones or with iOS, the Maps app, you could get directions to a destination, but it didn't like track it in real time and verbally tell you when to turn and those types of things. So I personally have been using the Garmin Street Pilot app on my iPhone because I want turn-by-turn navigation. So perhaps iOS 6 will make my Garmin Street Pilot app obsolete.
So that sounds pretty interesting. I mean, Google Maps is pretty full of features. They got those trucks driving around all over the place. Where's Microsoft getting all that data from?
Well, Apple, but you know what?
That's what I meant.
Don't really know.
I meant Apple.
When Apple, who Apple's working with, or how they got the data. I have seen a couple early reviews of, because the iOS 6 beta is now in developers' hands, and some of the early reviews suggest that it might have some bugs to work out. So I'm really kind of waiting to see, this fall when it actually is available, how it stacks up against my Garmin Street Pilot app. And I really hope it works well, because the other thing is that is going to be with iOS 6 is that they made some improvements with Siri, with the virtual personal assistant, voice interaction tool. And Siri would then be able to do the maps. So it would be very nice if I was able to say, Siri, I need to find a gas station, and for Siri to find me that gas station, and then for me to be able to say, great, tell me how to get there. And have
that would be very nice. I was just asking a friend of mine who was doing that on, talking to Siri, and I said, well, does she talk back to you and tell you what to do? He says, no, it just pulls it up on the screen. So, if you're driving, that's a little tough to read.
Right. So if the mapping functionality is any good and the turn-by-turn navigation is good, it will be nice to have that integration with Siri, because then even if you're driving to a destination, you're on your way to the airport or something, you'd be able to push the button and say, hey Siri, I need to find a gas station, and be able to do those kind of things on the fly. That you can do that now with your GPS, but it requires more interaction manually. It requires you to take your eyes off the road. So if Siri can do those things, then it would be helpful.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk after the conference about improvements to Siri. Are there other things that stand out in your mind about that? What they're doing?
Yeah, they're expanding Siri's wealth of knowledge to include sports and movies, which is nice. So if you're a sports fanatic or whatever, you'll be able to say things like, hey, Siri, who's taller, LeBron James or Kobe Bryant? And it would be able to figure that out and give you an answer. Or you could say, I'd like to go see a movie. What's showing at the theater? The theater's near me, and it would actually be able to pull up that information and let you know what movies are showing, what the movie times are. So they've expanded the functionality that way. The other thing, which I'm actually more excited about, is with iOS 6, Siri will work on the iPad.
Oh, really?
But
That's
only,
nice.
But only the new iPad. It will not work on the iPad 2 or the original iPad.
That's interesting.
I believe it's a processing thing, because the new iPad has a stronger processor, and on the back end, it takes a little horsepower to drive Siri. So I think you need to have that the bigger processor to handle it.
That I didn't know about. That's pretty interesting. We're going to take a break. We're talking to Tony Bradley about what happened at the Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference, and this is IMI's Tech Talk on KFNX AM 1100. I'm Tom Dioria, and it's Sunday, June 24th, 2012. We're going to be right back after these messages. Please stay tuned.
Information Methods Incorporated is a leader in construction technology management. At IMI, we specialize in all areas of high-tech construction, including data centers, 311 and 911 operation centers, as well as the consolidation of public safety, operations, and administration into a single facility. Regardless of the project size or phase, IMI has the tools and experience to add value at every step of the project. From initiation to controlling and closing, we work with you to ensure your next high-tech facility is ready to provide customers with the right technology at the right place and time for now and years to come. Visit our website to see how IMI can turn your high-tech facility project from headache to success. www.imi-us.com. Information Methods Incorporated, the leader in construction technology management, www.imi-us.com.
Since 1991, the law offices of Willinchek & Bartness have provided the quality business litigation service that you'd find at a big firm with small firm atmosphere. Willinchek & Bartness focus on cases involving breach of contract, real estate litigation, construction defect, business fraud, and breach of fiduciary duty. For professional yet very personal legal representation, call Willinchek & Bartness today at 602-606-2810. That's 602-606-2810.
Attention homeowners. If you owe more than what your house is worth, you may be able to save hundreds of dollars per month thanks to the government's new HARP 2 program. This is not a loan modification. It's a new fixed-rate loan, and in many cases an appraisal isn't even necessary. To find out if your loan is eligible, call today at 1-800-207-4988 or visit theharp2program.com. Again, 1-800-207-4988 or theharp2program.com. Alliance Financial Resources, an equal housing lender.
Ahwatukee hosts this year's Red, White, and Boom Festival 4th of July fireworks celebration. Packed with live entertainment, Radio Disney performers, water playland, family fun zone, beer garden, and food court. Come have fun in the sun and enjoy the fireworks show. Tuesday, July 3rd at the Ahwatukee Country Club, presented by Vision Management and the Ahwatukee Foothills Chamber of Commerce. Gates open at 3 and is free to the public. Bring your lawn chairs and blankets and enjoy the festivities. For more information, please visit redwhiteandboom.com.
Hey, it's Neil Bortz. When I'm in Phoenix, oh, I love Phoenix, I listen to the weather with Jim Howell on Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX.
Welcome back to IMI-TechTalk on KFNX AM 1100. I'm Tom DiOria. It's Sunday, June 24th, 2012, and we're talking to Tony Bradley about WWDC. And just before the break, Tony was telling us about Siri working on the iPad. That's pretty interesting. Do you think that there's going to be more? I mean, we're talking about the maps now, you know, being verbal or oral, being able to talk back to you and give you directions like that. Do you think there's going to be more of that? So when you ask it a question like how many ounces are in a quart or something like that, instead of it just showing you on the screen, it'll tell you?
I think so. I mean, you know, they're still technically classifying Siri as a beta release, you know, and they're working out the kinks and they're developing it and improving it as time goes on. So I think that, you know, we'll continue to see it get better. I think that it's already beyond what quote unquote comparable services offer. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people who have, you know, commented on my articles on PCWorld and said, you know, well, you know, Android has, you know, voice interaction too, or Windows Phone has voice interaction too. And it's like, they have voice interaction, but it's not the same thing. I mean, you know, the ability to listen to a voice command and execute it is one thing. Siri lets you do it in conversational English. You know, you're not limited to a specific syntax in order to make the phone understand you. And so I think it puts Apple a step above what the competition is doing. What I would like to see is for them to make some sort of an API available to third parties to tie in with Siri. You know, and it's nice that they have this, that they're doing turn-by-turn navigation with their Maps app now, and if that works well, that's great. What I would have loved to have seen, though, is for them to just give me or Garmin or someone a way for me to tell the iPhone, you know what, instead of using the default Maps app, if I asked you for directions, I want you to use the Garmin app. And to have the Garmin app be able to interact with Siri in that way, that would be awesome.
Yep. Huh. Well, have you made that suggestion to them?
Only in my articles. So assuming they're reading PCWorld, then yes. And I know they read PCWorld because that's how they quoted me at the iPad keynote.
Well, that's good then. That's good. Hopefully that would be nice if the apps, if you could basically pick how you wanted it to handle things. Tell us a little bit about what this passport thing is that they discussed.
The passbook, that one was interesting to me because it's one of those things that Apple does where they sort of define a need that you didn't even know existed. So that was one of the things that they announced it, and I thought, yeah, that's not something I've ever felt like I've ever thought of. It's never occurred to me. I haven't missed having that. But it seems like it's one of those things that has the potential to be, kind of a must-have thing if it's done properly. Basically, it's an app that will keep all of your tickets, boarding passes, all the different types of things that you would generally scan from your iPad or your iPhone display. So, like, if you have the Starbucks app, you can go into Starbucks and you can pay with your phone by, pulling up this thing, and there's a barcode, and they just scan it from the phone. And you can get mobile boarding passes for the airport that they scan from the display. So basically, iOS 6 is going to be able to somehow identify and detect the different apps and the different tickets and passes and whatever that you might have and pull them all into this Passbook app. And it will also be location aware. So if you're walking into Starbucks, it will somehow realize you're at a Starbucks, and by default, it'll bring your Starbucks, your Starbucks app to the top. So it sounds cool, but I'll be interested to see how it works in real life.
Are there other things that you saw at the conference that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I think the other big thing was Mountain Lion, which is the next iteration of the Mac OS X software. They announced it will be out in July. It will only cost $20, which is a discount because when the last version came out, it was $30. So for $20, you can upgrade to the latest version. And it has some cool things in it. I mean, Apple continues to go down this path of sort of, they're not trying to merge iOS and Mac OS X, but they're continuing to make them play nice together. So with Mountain Lion, there's things like the iCloud tool will now have Docs integration. So if you write something in Pages on your iPad, it'll automatically sync back to your MacBook or your Mac, whatever. They've also put in the notification center, which if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you're familiar with. But they're building that now into the Mac software as well. So you have this notification center where all of your alerts and all of your notifications are all kind of there in one place where you can find them. And even though there's still no Siri in Mac OS X, they've greatly expanded the dictation capabilities. So if you in iOS right now, even if you're not using Siri, basically anywhere where there's a text input field, you can just tap the microphone and you could dictate instead of typing. And basically that's what they're bringing to Mountain Lion as well.
Oh, that's cool. How does that work? Does that work well for you?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think it's worked better than I thought it would, and better than some other dictation tools that I've used as well. But there are still times where, I'm trying to, I don't want to text while I'm driving, so I'll use the dictation. I'll just tap the microphone and try to dictate a text. And, sometimes it'll totally mangle what I said to the point that it's not even used. I can't even use that text.
That's interesting. Yeah, because a friend of mine talks to Siri all the time and sometimes sends me emails that he's dictated, and they've been decent. So I was just wondering how that's all playing out. We've got about a minute left, and I just wanted to know, there were a number of, there are always rumors about what Apple's doing. Were there any that were disproven at the conference, or any that you heard that weren't discussed but you feel will be out soon? I mean, what's your final wrap up of the show?
There's a rumor going around that they would announce that they were going to drop the base price of the MacBook Air to $799, basically to compete with the barrage of Intel-based Ultrabooks, Windows-based Ultrabooks that are coming out. That didn't happen. I think basically Apple's still selling so many MacBook Airs that they're not feeling threatened. They don't really need to drop the price because it hasn't impacted their sales. And there were some people who felt that there might be some iPhone 5 news. There have been rumors about that it's going to be a longer phone, taller, and it has like an actual 16:9 aspect ratio, so it'll be like true HD display, and talk about using some sort of liquid metal for the case. So I mean, there was some stuff like that. I don't think there was any real big rumor, though, that didn't pan out.
Tony, I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. How do our listeners get in touch with you if they want to follow up?
Well, I write the network column and blog at PCWorld. So if you go to PCWorld.com, you can find me there. You can write to tbradley@PCWorld.com if you'd like to email me. And if you search around, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. So I'm out there. You can find me.
All right, Tony, I really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too. And I want to thank Terry Ruggiero, IMI's president, Dave Brandon, and Jose Batista and Dan Dioria for the Week in Review. Taylor Redden's our producer. Matt Campagni's our executive producer. And, of course, Robert Bombach makes this all possible, even though it's 3-digit temperatures in Phoenix. I want to thank you for listening, and don't forget to tune into Tech Talk next week at 6 p.m. in New York on KFNX AM 1100. Remember to send us your suggestions for future shows or ask us questions by sending an email to techtalk@imi-us.com. Have a great week, and thanks again for listening.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey is proud to present Dragons, an all-new family event unlike anything you've ever experienced. For the first time in history, the legend of the dragon meets the magnificence of the circus in what can only be found at the greatest show on earth. Experience the ultimate in non-stop thrills, excitement, and fun at this once-in-a-lifetime event. Make family time legendary. Get your tickets today. Kids' tickets are $10 to select performances. Restrictions and fees may apply. Playing the U.S. Airways Center June 27th through July 2nd.
OnQ Financial. Mortgages simplified. Getting a mortgage is a complicated process. We make it simple. Call Margot Rackus and Jeff Wild at 480-444-7123 for all your mortgage needs. OnQ Financial is a licensed Arizona mortgage banker, MB number 0906866. Margot Rackus, originator number 258961. Jeff Wild, originator number 257881. Equal housing lender, OnQ Financial. We make it simple. 480-444-7123.
You're listening to Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX, Cave Creek, Phoenix, a division of Premier Radio Stations.